They then handcuff Rick, at which point Randy arrives. He's promptly handcuffed as well. This is where I thought it was kind of cool. The two officers then tell the men, gentlemen, this is a robbery.
Nice. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mysterious Pals. My name is Chris, and welcome aboard for another episode of this here show. But first, I want to introduce Jordan, the warden from Borden, Ohio.
Wow.
Does that rhyme?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Rhyme scheme. Here we go. Jordan, thank you for being here.
Thanks,
How
Chris.
are you doing?
Good, man. Good. Can I tell you something, though?
Well, I'm here. Yeah.
So there's
Please
this
do.
a bird problem.
Ooh, you have a bird problem?
Yeah.
Like in your house?
No. Thank God. I don't know.
Like you own a bird?
No, I don't own a bird.
Okay.
But
Terrifying.
there's a robin that I noticed. It's maybe a week now. Every time I go outside, it just loses its mind, like squawks and squawks and squawks. And one time I was out there a couple of days ago, it, like dived at me.
You punch it?
I did, like I had my head down at the time, and it, like I could tell it like flew right by me, did like a circle, like a threatening kind of thing. I was like, this has to.
There's a nest somewhere.
Yeah. So I didn't know where it was, but now apparently it's on like our kitchen window, like sill on the outside.
Yeah.
Didn't be there a while. I'm guessing this bird's like nasty, man.
You gotta evict them.
Yeah.
I evict things all the time.
Where do you put them?
In the garbage? No, I don't evict.
I'm not gonna mess with it. It's just like annoying.
Yeah,
Every time
no,
go
I
out there,
evicted
just
before.
like,
I evicted before it becomes a problem.
Okay.
Like if they're starting to build a nest, I just knock that shit down.
Yeah.
But we have this one nest right by our house or on our house. And every year the bird just builds another layer to it instead
Really?
of using the same one. So it's like 5 layers deep now. It's like a triple decker.
It's the same bird doing this?
I guess. I don't know.
Did it
I
live
don't know how
that long?
birds work. I don't know. I'm not a birdologist or I don't know.
What is that called when someone's a bird
Ornithologist?
person? That sounds right.
Or is that a bug one?
No.
Okay. Sorry, ornithologist. Who cares?
Sure.
It's a dumb thing. Birds suck.
This is a science podcast.
Yeah. Well, thank God. No, yeah, I'm not a friend of birds. I don't like birds.
I've never minded them, man, but when it's like swept at me like that, like
Trying to fight
aggressively,
you.
I was like, I don't like birds now.
No, I don't like them. They're terrible.
I don't blame it, but it's also just like this is my place, man. Get out of here.
Yeah. The rival.
You don't pay your rent.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just crapping all over the place. I mean, they don't think they stick around too long. They're gone before summer starts, I'm pretty sure. Like they just take off as little things.
Yeah.
But it is annoying.
Yeah.
All right. There was this duck or geese or goose. Geese. There's 2 geese.
So it's geese, yeah.
They got a mom and a dad.
Okay.
They'd always lay eggs on a pile of manure from horses.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
Is that normal, you think?
I don't know. Again, I don't like birds. But it would always cook the eggs, so they would never hatch. So like a family member had to like move them. Like one would fight off the dad while the other one would move it.
Oh my God, geese could be nasty.
Oh
right?
yeah, I'll punch a geese in the face though. Just things are like people are like, oh well, gotta protect the animals. Birds suck. Like
You hear that, bird? You suck.
I hate them. They're mean. There's nothing good about them. They used to be dinosaurs, I think. You kind of see that in them, especially turkeys. You're like, oh man. Yeah, we have a lot of turkeys around here too. Those things aren't bad.
Yeah, they're just dumb.
They don't bother us, but like I hate those stupid birds. I mean, I hate bugs and stuff, so I hate bugs. So I guess it goes counterproductive of my previous statements. So you know what? I'm all right with birds. Come back around. Eat them bugs.
Like, part of the food chain.
Like I hate wasps.
Yeah.
And
What are they good for?
They eat like ticks and stuff. They eat bugs.
Oh.
Yeah. Like I hate all wasps. Like I make fake wasp nests because then other wasps won't make nests where wasp nests are. You make them out of electrical tape in a like a bag, like a plastic bag. You just wrap it up and you hang it.
Bugs. I'm getting like.
Yeah. Anyway, bugs suck. Birds, if they eat the bugs, I'm okay with them.
I don't know the difference between like wasp or hornet. I couldn't like it.
Oh yeah, wasps are black and hornets are orangish.
Okay.
Orange stripes. They're like a bigger bee with orange, like a deeper yellow. I hate those things. They're so big. And they're mean. Yellow jackets are worse, but like.
Well, is yellow jacket a hornet or a wasp, or is it its own thing?
It's like it looks like a bee. It's a smaller bee.
Okay.
Like I have yellow jacket and hornet. No, I have yellow jacket and wasp nest or wasp traps outside my house because the yellow jackets wasps keep on getting in our house somehow through the windowsills, I think. And so like I had to put a trap there because like every morning we wake up and there'd be one in the house. I'm like, it's gonna sting someone.
Are murder hornets still a thing? Is that still like an issue?
I think they released those to kill some other bug, and then they're like, "Oh man,
we made a boo-boo."
I don't know where they're at though. I don't know if they're here.
I remember that was like a huge thing, and like I haven't heard about it since like last year.
They probably released something else to kill that thing. It's like, oh God, yeah, bugs are the worst. I think they released them to kill the stink bugs that came into our country.
Okay,
and then I'm like,
the stink bugs are.
I hate stink bugs,
yeah.
and they released the murder hornets to kill the stink bugs, but like, is
that right?
Stink bugs are fine. Who cares? They're not mean. They're dumb.
Yeah, they're really dumb.
You just catch them, throw them outside.
Yeah.
Or put some. You put palm olive on, or the blue palm olive. It just kills them instantly.
I also don't see them too much anymore.
I think because the murder hornets or whatever they released to kill them have been eating them, and then they've been making me mad because I'm killing nests every other day. Yeah. Remember like last year when we first started this whole series show thing? We had to go kill some.
Oh, that's right.
Some wasp nest.
An ATV.
Yeah.
Like
murdered a bunch of wasps in the middle of the night. Yeah. That was cool. No birds were there.
Yeah, because they're on your in-laws' pool.
Yeah. They'll murder those things. All right. Well, what are we going to do? We're going to talk about murdering some more stuff, maybe? I don't know. Is that?
Yeah. No.
Really?
No, there is some murder.
Oh,
Yeah.
We can never get away from the murder.
No children, though.
Oh, good. Thank God. Okay. Birds are okay. Fine. Whatever. Bugs suck. On with the show. Where are we going this week?
This week we're talking about one of the most successful heists ever in history.
In history. Like heist as in...
Like money-wise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Value,
yeah.
Because, I mean, you can heist a whole city and conquer a city, right? Is that a heist?
No.
Like, the Nazis heisted a lot of stuff. Like countries. Is that what it is?
No.
I mean...
it's like they just in the middle of the night just took buildings and people.
So what defines a heist?
Well, you're stealing something.
Okay.
Oh, man.
I think the people of Europe would say that Nazis have made a pretty good score.
Hold on. Let's
define heist here.
Yeah, that's good question, man. Heist film, heist blah blah, heist definition.
Define. There you go.
A robbery. Steal. What?
Okay.
Come on. It's gotta be more like.
So you better go back and redefine your most successful heist, because I'm sure.
Well, so it's also considered a robbery because there's a point where during this whole thing, someone says,
I think Mr. Hitler would have to say that he robbed, or Europe would say that Mr. Hitler robbed a few things too.
Yeah.
But okay, let's go off your silly,
my silly made up word
concept here. Yeah.
So this heist, as of today, never been solved. They don't know. Well, it's said they know who did this heist, but 13 pieces of art were taken from the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston.
Ooh, so this is on American soil.
Yeah, they're worth, as of now, $500 million.
$500 million.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
At the time it was $200 million, but like it kept going up.
Get inflation. Everybody's complaining about it. I don't know. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, but
so $500 million. But
total. But some of the stuff like isn't worth as much as the others. But
how do you value art? That's the problem.
Well,
people are like,
I don't know.
Art's so expensive. It's so expensive.
Yeah.
You know,
but art never depreciates in value like other things. You know
why? That's my question.
I don't know.
As someone with an art degree.
I mean, it gets older and older.
Yes. They have to be like, is this kind of good?
But there's people who go out and value this stuff. Like that's their job.
Yeah, you know who does that?
And then also for insurance reasons.
Yeah, I guess you're right. So, as someone who doesn't know anything about the value of art.
You study it.
That's not true. I have a degree in art as one of my degrees. And that was a dumb mistake. That was kind of just fake degree. I don't know.
So you can help me with some of these
art, man.
You can help me with some of these pronunciations, maybe.
I did take 4 art history classes.
You did. I actually I just totally forgot about this until now. I was a grad student. I did.
Remember that?
What was that called? I did it. I don't know what it's called.
Grad student.
No, well,
grad assistant.
Yeah, like kind of like a TA kind of thing.
Yeah,
for
teaching assistant. Yeah.
For the art department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Art history is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's The older stuff is awesome, but newer stuff
I'm not a big fan of abstract art.
and like modern art's kind of
I don't get it.
not for me.
Yeah,
I understand that it's probably fine.
I want to know what I'm looking at. And
Yeah.
a couple silly swivels of paint.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what they're going with and making up crap. No
I know
talent.
it's supposed to reflect
Yeah.
society and the world.
No talent. Yeah, I get it.
Like
I get it. But at the same time, come on. Art. If someone's gonna value something like that, great on them.
Yeah.
Being dumb is part of life, I guess.
So art is dumb.
Yeah, some of it is. I think by definition, it's supposed to be critiqued.
Yes. Yeah.
So we can say it's dumb.
Yeah.
I like art with a little bit of, talent to develop it, but if you like splashy paint, hey, I can't help it. You're dumb. Whatever. Go ahead.
All right. So the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum is located in Boston, Massachusetts, of the U.S. of A. Or U.S. of, or ever people say U.S. and A? Do you ever hear people say that? I think it's funny.
No.
Like, I think they do as a joke, like the U.S. and A. Like, I don't know. I think it's funny.
It's like that commercial, the
USAA.
Yeah.
It's like, what's his name?
It's just like you think an A is really stands and.
Is that what it is?
No.
No.
I think it's armed something.
Yeah. Yeah, it was for the Air Force, right? But now like any.
Again, I have no
Let's
idea.
not get into that commercial. It was founded, but get this, Isabella Stewart Gardner. Who would have thought?
Who's that?
Well, it's the name of the museum. It's the lady that founded the museum.
But who? Are you going to explain who?
Yeah. She was a prominent art collector and philanthropist. From a young age, Isabella traveled the world becoming fascinated with art. She received a sizable amount of inheritance from her father upon his death. After which she then acquired tons of art, many of which were notable works. I think she's one of the first Americans to own a piece of Renaissance art, like European Renaissance art.
Okay.
Which I think is pretty notable.
Yeah, I think if you didn't slide that little thing in there that her daddy gave her a lot of money.
I didn't want to, just because I think it like diminishes what she did, but like that's how she got the
it's
money.
good that she spent her money somehow.
Yeah.
Didn't just blow it all
Right.
in gambling or something.
Right. No.
I guess art is gambling, I guess, in some ways. But anyway.
After her husband Jack had passed, she decided to build an art museum, something her and her late husband dreamt of doing. The museum opened to the public in 1903 and housed art from Europe, America, and Asia that Isabella meticulously curated herself. Notable works from artists such as Rembrandt, Degas, Vermeer,
Okay.
and I already forget how to pronounce it.
Vermeer?
No.
Titian? Titian.
Titian. Thank you.
I always said it as Titian, but I think people just pronounce it differently. But I think it's actually Titian. Titian.
I'm saying Titian.
Titian. I think it's actually how you pronounce it, but some people say Titian.
All right.
I say Titan. I don't know. It spelled like Titan. I don't know. Maybe. Degas. I always heard Degas was Degas. Degas, you said though?
Degas, yeah, I'm pretty sure. And his elbow.
Hold on. First, I want to say that I probably fell asleep in a lot of these classes, art history classes. So let's not get a little ahead of ourselves. Some of it, I usually like the stuff pre-Renaissance, Renaissance art. I like pre-Renaissance art. Especially like stuff, the Byzantine style art.
Okay.
Or real flat stuff. I think that's cool. Illuminated manuscripts are cool. Type of art. Yeah.
Isabella died in 1924, but in her will, she said that the art must permanently stay the way she left it. If it was ever disturbed, it was allowed to be boxed up, shipped to Paris, and sold at auction. But apparently she was like also a philanthropist. Like she wanted to create this museum to like introduce Americans to art, and that was kind of cool.
Well, good for you.
That's a little backstory.
A little bee in your bonnet.
Little
beans in your bonnet.
We're jumping in 1990, 7:30 a.m. on March 18th. It was at the museum. Security guard Karen St. Gregory is coming into work at the museum to relieve the night guards. After several failed attempts to be buzzed in, she decided to call the head of security. As security arrives, and both he and Karen go through a back door. She states that something immediately seemed off.
Do you think it'd be a cool job to be a night guard for like a museum or something?
So I got a lot of this from, there's a documentary that came out in 2021. This is a robbery, the world's greatest heist or something like that. They talked to the guards who did night security. It's this kind of like, if you didn't like art, it'd be kind of boring, but a lot of them did like art. So they just kind of like freely walk around. Like they had to like do,
Yeah.
Certain protocols that they would be able to go and like look at art that they liked.
You think now they
I think
have?
it'd be kind of boring though.
I think after like the first 10 days, you'd be like, this is so boring. But do you think that
like
now?
one guy would go in and just like practice his trombone.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it'd be one of those jobs like.
Well, we had a friend who worked night kind of security. Well, it wasn't security, but he had to like watch over.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. That was a hospital though.
Yeah, he said that was very boring. But he'd like bring in like
video games and stuff to play. Yeah, I think being a night guard would kind of suck. But isn't everything like probably like motion sensor now? So it's probably like they have one guy.
And it is back.
Of course, we're just gonna
back in this time it was too.
We're gonna automate everything. You know, get rid of the worker. this economy around here.
So Karen calls us head of security. They go around. He takes her around to the back door. States that something immediately seemed off. Security cameras had been turned. The security office door had been busted open. There's an empty frame on a chair and a crowbar.
A frame as in?
Like a frame as in
picture
like
frame?
Yeah.
Painting frame?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, that's not good.
And a crowbar. They proceeded through the museum looking for the guards, but no luck. That is, security decides to call the police. When the police arrive, one of the policemen mentions that there's tunnels running underneath the museum in the basement. In the tunnels, they discover the 2 night guards.
Wait, there's tunnels that someone dug?
No, they're like actual like kind of service tunnel kind of things, but they're like in the basement. Wow. Sorry, thank you for clarifying that. I should have clarified that. Then they tell us they discover the 2 night guards. Rick Abbott, who's 23 years old, he's a regular night guard, and Randy Heston, 25, and this is his first time on the night shift.
Ooh, bad night shift.
He's worked there, but that's his first time working the night shift. The guards are bound with duct tape and handcuffed. Abbott has duct tape over his eyes and wrapped around his head. I think the other guard did too, but they're like wrapped like around his head and over his eyes, which at least like that's kind of weird.
That would hurt.
Yeah,
that would hurt.
This guy
so
like
bad.
Long hair, so imagine like taking that off.
Your eyebrows.
Yeah,
eyelashes.
So back in the museum, it's discovered that 13 works of art are stolen.
Like this ripped off the wall?
Some of the stuff was, yeah.
Okay.
So this happens in 3 different rooms. The museum itself is 4 floors, but all the action was on the first 2 floors, mostly the second floor. So on the second floor, in the Dutch room, is named, I guess, because of all the Dutch painting masters.
Yeah, Rembrandt.
Yep. I'm going to list all the things that were stolen. Christ in the Storm of the Sea of Galilee. It's a Rembrandt. It's his only seascape he's ever painted, so it's worth a lot of money. It's cut from the frame.
Oh, why would you do
5
that?
by 4 feet. That's big.
Cut from the frame. You just ruined it.
I figured it'd be like easy to do, but apparently, like, because the old canvas is really thick and oil paint. And Kelly was telling me, my partner, because you studied art, but like that much oil, like it would take forever to cut through that.
Yeah,
and it's heavy.
Yeah, and they not to mention the stuff they put on before they even paint.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Just cut it.
Why would they cut it?
The frame.
They just ruined it.
Maybe they're in a hurry.
Maybe it actually didn't ruin it, and like that's like how they do it.
But apparently, I think it was this one, or maybe one of the other ones. Like a chunk was like left in there. Like obviously, chunk like part of it's yeah.
Ah man.
Another one called A Lady and Gentleman in Black. That's Rembrandt. That was cut from the frame. There's an etched self-portrait by Rembrandt. The Concert by Johann Vermeer. That's removed from the frame. They took the time to get that out of there. Landscape with an Obelisk by Govert Flink, who I've never heard of. That's removed from the frame. They take an ancient Chinese beaker. Also in this room, there's a painted self-portrait of Rembrandt, taken off the wall but was never taken. It was like they took the time to unscrew it from the wall, but they just left it there.
It's unscrewed it?
Yeah, apparently there's just like they found screws in an ashtray in there and just like it came from that painting. But they never took the painting. So on the same floor as the Dutch room, this is the second floor in the short gallery. 3 Mounted Jockeys by Edgar Degas. Leaving the Paddock by Degas. Procession on a Road near Florence by Degas. Study for the Program by Degas. These are a lot of like horse, like racing themed things. I think the website I wanted was actually the museum's own website. They said the 2 things called Study for the Program. There's like different versions, I think. And a bronze eagle finial of Napoleon's Imperial Guard was taken. They didn't take the whole like staff. They just took the bronze eagle off the top of it. And then back on the first floor, only one thing was taken. That's from the Blue Room. Chez Tortoni by Manet. Not Monet, Manet.
Manet.
No, it's a different person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at the time...
I mean,
Yep.
Both. I mean, I think Manet is pointillism, so at least he does that really famous. I think it was Manet. I think he did a pointillism, the French painting of the people by the pond, and he did pointillism. He does like pixels almost. Like,
oh yeah, that's a Chicago museum, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
and
I remember seeing that.
He's like
did Manet do that one? It's like some of the park or something like that.
Manet or Monet.
Okay.
Crap.
Well, you look at that back on the first floor in the blue room. Chez Tortoni was taken by Manet. At the time of the heist, all this art was valued at $200 million. Like I said earlier, it's now $500 million. It's a $500 million award. The museum's art was insured for anything but theft.
What? Why would they do that?
I don't know.
They're like, oh, no one's gonna rob this place. That's just a ripoff. It's like volcano insurance. Whatever. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Mr.
Volcano insurance.
Yeah.
Mr. Progressive.
Yeah. Get out of here, your little, what's that little?
Oh, the Gecko.
Yeah, get out of here, Gecko. Does that still exist?
Yeah.
What about the cavemen?
I think they just brought them back again.
They have their own show? They had their own show,
yeah,
didn't they?
It didn't last long, though.
It couldn't have lasted more than 3 episodes. They're like, this is so dumb.
Is it Manet?
Manet was,
so isn't like Day at the Park or something like that? Or
I don't know.
You just saw it.
But that's just a.
Well, click on it. Touch it. Touch it.
Sunday on Le Grand Jetée. A Sunday on Le Grand Jetée.
Yeah, and it's like almost dotted.
Pointillism, they call that.
Oh, okay.
Pointillism, they call that, Jordan. As someone who has a art degree for some reason, because it was just there. It was part of my other degree, and they were like, here you go, you got this too. I also got a economics minor for some reason. Didn't know how I got that.
You get a minor in economics?
Somehow.
Oh.
Because I was like, hey, I like this teacher. He teaches economics. I'll take a few of his courses. And then
I think you might have the same guy.
Yeah, he was really cool.
Yeah, I like him.
And I just they were like, here's a minor. I'm like, what? I don't want this. Like, no, you got it. Okay, yeah, we got that solved.
No. Solve that mystery. Suck it, Columbo.
Yeah, pals.
All right, so going back to the night or very early morning of Sunday, March 18th. So the Karen arrives March 18th at 7:30 a.m. to come in for a shift. We're going back a few hours, like in the late night hours. So it's Monday, March 18th, but some people are like, well, it's night going into, I don't know, whatever. It's after midnight. So they,
like what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. It's St. Patty's Day in Boston. It's the day of the parade.
Oh boy. Here we go.
So people are out doing St. Patty's stuff in Boston, so they're drinking.
It'd be awesome if just a bunch of drunk guys just walked out with this crap.
Which, as a lot of people, obviously people here in the U.S. and A know St. Patty's Day is like a big, ridiculous drinking day in the States, but a lot of people other states might not know that. Or they don't take it as seriously as we do.
No, because we're idiots.
Yeah. But the parade was actually on this day. But people were celebrating all weekend long because it's Boston.
Yeah. As they should. People should just celebrate whenever they want.
I'm assuming the police probably were kind of preoccupied.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But again, people should just do whatever the hell they want. Have fun.
This might have been a perfect night to do this. So at the museum, Rick and Randy are working a night shift. Randy was filling in for another guard. Like I said, this was his first time Randy worked the night shift. But he's filling in for another guard, Joe Mulvey, who called off.
Ooh.
Mulvey, maybe. Mulvey.
Wow.
But this is something that Joe frequently did.
Well, fire him. After this, they should fire him.
So at 12:30 or 12:45 a.m., somewhere in between there, two men, who later believe the culprits of the heist, are witnessed by two St. Patty Day partiers. They claim to have seen the two men dressed as police officers parked in a hatchback about 100 feet from the side entrance of the museum. Right around this time, Rick does his first round of patrol while Randy stays at the desk. The protocol is one guy stays here, one guy goes out, they have a walkie-talkie, they can communicate. Fire alarms go off, but Rick is unable to find any smoke or fire. Returning to the security room, he shuts off the fire alarm control panel, thinking it's a malfunction. He then goes on to complete his rounds, but stops to open and shut the side entrance door, the outside of the side entrance door. So the side entrance, you go through the security room, you'd be buzzed in that first door, and there's another door you have to get through, and you have to be buzzed to that one as well. So he goes out to the outer one, opens it, and shuts it for some reason.
And there's a record of this?
Yes.
By his own admission, or is it on camera?
His own admission.
Is it on camera?
Never been seen on camera.
Nice.
Apparently no one's ever seen him do this. But he says this is something he would frequently do.
Just to make sure it's shut.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it would have been seen on camera in the museum. Like the museum people would have been like, don't do that. It would have been, and also would have been seen before.
Right.
Because there's cameras on the outside. I think there's one in like the foyer or like the security room. We have to go in between going to the second door, but there's not really cameras anywhere else.
Do you ever notice how security cameras are always the worst quality ever?
And I will talk about that
because it's like you never
so
can. Every time
bad.
people are like, we have them on camera, but then we can't notice who the hell they are.
No. But again, he says he does this all the time, but no one's ever seen him do it. Never been seen on camera, apparently.
Sure, Randy. Sure.
Yeah. Around 1 a.m., Rick returns to the security desk while Randy goes on his patrol. At 1:20 a.m., the cops approach the side entrance, buzz the intercom. Now, these are thieves. They're dressed as police officers.
Okay, so this isn't the cops responding to the call. These are just, quote the cops.
Yeah, so that the fire alarm, when it doesn't go off to the outside world, I don't believe. Like, it doesn't go to like an emergency service or anything like that.
It's an internal type of alarm.
Yeah. So they has to be buzzed in. And again, the protocol is you don't let anybody in until like, I don't know, until it's like checked out. Like the protocol is like, don't let anybody in. Like if the cops show up, like you gotta be like, hey, you gotta wait out there till we
verify.
Yeah.
Okay.
They tell Rick, this is again, they're outside, that they're there because of a disturbance. Rick assumes that they're there because perhaps there may have been some drunk St. Patty's Day partier who somehow hopped and got on the grounds of the museum. Not necessarily inside the museum, but like somewhere on the grounds of the museum. At 1:24 a.m., breaking protocol, Rick buzzes them in. Like I said, in this room, there's another security door they have to get buzzed through. He buzzes them into the next door, too. One of the officers asks Rick if anyone else is in the museum. Rick radios on his walkie-talkie to Randy to come back to the security room. One of the officers says Rick looks familiar and that there might be a warrant out for his arrest, and then asks Rick to come out from behind the desk, provide identification.
Oh, sneaky.
Behind the desk is the one and only alarm in the whole museum that'll notify the outside world, like the police, of an emergency.
So Rick comes out, and Randy's on his way back?
Yep.
Okay, so they're both away from that button.
Yep.
So someone knew the button was there.
Exactly. That's what a lot of people said. Like they had to know that button was there. How would they know that? They then handcuff Rick, at which point Randy arrives. He's promptly handcuffed as well. This is where I thought it was kind of cool. The two officers then tell the men, gentlemen, this is a robbery.
Nice.
Nice.
That's officially what they said.
Yep.
Because the guys reported it.
Yep. They take them to the tunnels in the basement, which they apparently knew how to get to on their own. Like they've been there before. Yeah.
And behind
the scenes,
because the tunnels are service tunnels, so there's not like that anybody can go down there.
Yeah.
So they knew
like that girl Karen, who she's like, I've never been down there. I heard talk of these tunnels, but I've never been down there. Even the head of security didn't think to go down there. So I'm assuming he would know, but he's the head of security. There, the two guards are duct taped and bound in place in the tunnels. I think they're put 40 feet apart from each other. Thieves tell the guards not to cause any trouble because they know now that where they live, because they checked both of their IDs. Like, we have your address. We know where you live. Don't cause us any trouble. We'll like kill you and your families, kind of thing. They didn't say that, but like, it was like, we know where you live.
Assumed.
Don't cause any trouble. At this point, this is around 1:35 a.m. It is unknown what the thieves did for the next 13 minutes.
Apparently, they were just ruining art because they're just cutting crap out of the.
But at 1:48 a.m., a motion sensor goes off on the second floor of the museum in the Dutch room. There's infrared motion sensors throughout the museum. Like when someone enters the room, and there's ones by the actual paintings if someone gets too close.
Okay. Is that just an internal alarm, though?
Internal.
Okay.
This all gets sent to a computer in the security room.
It logs everything.
Which logs everything and prints everything out on a printer.
Oh.
So all this gets printed out. Like every movement these guys make are being monitored because they're passing or like too close to paintings, going through rooms. It all gets pushed back to the computer.
Okay. There's records of someone getting too close.
So we know, so it's known like what these guys are doing.
Timestamps for everything.
Yep.
Okay.
Makes sense. For the most part.
Are they using like the spray to see the lasers and stuff? Like, is that real?
I don't know. Is that a real thing?
I don't know.
I'll see it in movies. In heist movies.
We should get a laser and try that. I think I have one at work. But lasers never go as far as you think they would.
No.
Stupid.
So 1:48 a.m. we know they enter the Dutch room on the second floor.
And is Dutch the Netherlands?
The
same people?
Yeah.
I was always confused by that.
So for 13 minutes, we don't know from the time they left the guards in the basement tunnels until 1:48 a.m. when a motion sensor goes off on the second floor of the museum in the Dutch room. At 1:51 a.m., one of the thieves leaves the Dutch room, passes through the early Italian and Raphael rooms, and into the short gallery, which is also on the second floor. 1:54 a.m., an alarm is tripped in the Dutch room. 1:56 a.m., alarms indicate that both thieves are back in the Dutch room. 2:08 a.m., one of the thieves goes back through the early Italian room and Raphael rooms back into the short room. For the next 18 minutes, it is unknown what exactly thieves are doing. Just that one is in the Dutch room and the other is in the short room. So I'm assuming this is where they're just like destroying,
ripping crap off the walls.
Yeah, destroying stuff.
Just ruining art.
Then at 2:27 to 2:28 a.m., at least one thief is working the Dutch room because, again, sensors are going off on some of these works of art. For the next 12 to 13 minutes, again, no sensors are going off. What are they doing there? 2:40 a.m.
Taking a nap, like eating a snack, bringing their lunch.
2:40 a.m. the inside door to the side entrance opens and closes. 2:41 a.m. the outside door of the side entrance opens and closes. You'd be so
stressed the entire time. You'd be so tired. Like you'd be just like so hungry and tired when you got out of there. You're like, oh my God, it was so horrible.
2:45 a.m. the inside door opens, closes, followed by the outside door opening and closing. This suggests that the two thieves left separately. But before leaving, they removed the VHS tape from the security cameras.
Oh, okay.
They left that frame on the security chair. Why'd they do that? They ripped out the printed pages of the alarms being triggered.
How'd they know they were triggered then? It was on the computer.
Because it's being printed out.
But they ripped that out.
They just take all the pages.
But then how do they know when they were in these rooms?
Hard drive.
Okay, so there was a backup.
Which like is 1990, but the thieves wouldn't think it to look, you know?
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good.
All that was saved on the hard drive. And apparently at one point they went back to the guards in the tunnels to make sure they were okay.
Hey, you guys all right down there?
You guys good? Comfortable? It's going to be a while.
No, my eyes are ripped out of my face. I'm good. Like, please take the duct tape off. Why'd you put it on my eyebrows? I'm going to look stupid for months until the stuff grows back.
So for 81 minutes, they're in this museum. 81 minutes. That's insane.
Too long to be in a museum, even whenever you're supposed to be there.
Well, even though like those heist movies, like, I don't know, like Oceans and all.
Oh, yeah, you're supposed to be in and out.
Like 3 minutes or something like that. Some like short number. These guys are in for 81 minutes.
And
does that mean they were just like comfortable? Like they knew they could be in there as long as they wanted?
I mean, they had to know what the system was.
But they're also like, why are they cutting this, like ripping these things out? Some of these paintings, like they took the time to remove some of it. They took the time to remove that one painting, but they didn't even take it.
Yeah, because if the frame is just around the, like, what's this called? The stretchers for the canvas. So it's not, they're just ripping it off the canvas stretchers. Why wouldn't they just take the whole canvas? I guess because roll it up. I guess it's easier to transport. Because the one's like 5 foot.
Can you roll that stuff up though without damaging it?
No, I don't know. I doubt it. Makes it be like all cracked and stuff. It's old paint.
That's what I'm saying. That, especially the charcoal drawings, those are going to smudge.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, they probably have some kind of. I imagine they got sprayed with some kind of crap, but.
Oh, maybe yeah. I don't know. Yeah, but maybe they're spending that time to figure like, okay, we got what we need, but how are we going to get it out of here? Because you imagine they might be like, oh, we could take multiple trips.
Yeah, like, they roll it up a little bit, like, okay, it's cool.
Yeah. But like some of the stuff is very cumbersome, like that. I think the galley painting I saw was like 5 by 4 feet.
That's what I mean. Like, can't roll that thing up. I mean, you couldn't take it without rolling it
But maybe they're just trying to figure out, okay, how do we get this stuff out of here?
They have on top of their car, like, all right, go. Like a mattress.
Punch it. Yeah, they can't really like roll this stuff up because it'll ruin it and depreciate.
Well, I mean, they had to roll it up.
I'd imagine. But, so I noticed, remember what I said, like they're going through the Dutch room, the short room, but there's never an alarm that gets stripped off because there's a painting missing from the blue room, which is on the first floor. Shea Tortoni.
Say that again?
Shea Tortoni.
Okay.
No motion sensor went off in that room, but it was gone.
Well, they probably knew where the sensor was, right?
I mean,
they guys had to know what's going on.
Yeah. But they're setting off all these other sensors. They broke one in the first, in like I think the Dutch room, but like they're letting all these other ones go off.
Like that every heist movie you saw where they're like doing backflips over the lasers and stuff. What was that one Bruce Willis movie? Something Hawk? Hudson Hawk. Wasn't that a heist movie?
No, I don't know.
Crap.
I never heard of that.
I think it's a heist movie. And he like does that type of stuff. I don't know. I don't remember. I saw it when I was too young.
What was the one with John Connery, Catherine Zeta-Jones? Like she does a laser thing. I can't remember what they're stealing. That Entrapment, I think it's called.
You're talking about like X-Men or something?
No.
Laser thingy?
Laser.
She does the laser thingy?
Yeah,
You're saying like she gets around a laser?
Yeah, she does like all the dancing around and all that
yeah,
stuff.
that's what I'm talking about, that type of stuff. Is that like every heist movie?
Yeah. I don't know if any of that's even real. Like the lasers and stuff like that.
We gotta buy a laser now.
So this
I bought a laser. Like one of those like blue burn stuff, like burn paper laser, you know, like burn.
Really?
Yeah, I bought one of those.
Why would you need that?
Because it was on like this website called like woot.com, like over the pandemic. And I was like, this sounds dumb. And it was like 3 pennies. And I got it. And not only was it like, it was this big thing, it was like this big, but it was bent. So I'm pulling my hand up. It was like probably 8 inches long, but it was bent. That must be why I got it for a penny. But also it took like 76 batteries, like small watch batteries. Like you need a stack of batteries like 6 inches long.
Why wouldn't they just put some other battery in there? They don't need that many.
Great question. I don't know. Yeah. Also, I probably couldn't even get them to fit in there because like it was twisted. Like someone like made it a U shape. Like someone like took it and like twisted it or like bent it. So I couldn't. So anyway, it took like 17 months to get to me because of that's how that website works.
Oot?
Yeah, it's like kind of like Temu or whatever it is now.
Okay, yeah.
Like basically the same thing. Bunch of garbage you don't need for like 3 pennies. Anyway, go ahead.
So according to these sensors, the thieves never entered that blue room.
But they got the painting out of there.
There's a painting that's missing. The only time that sensor was triggered that night was at 12:27 a.m. This is before the criminals even entered the room. It was triggered by Rick Abbott, the security guard, when he's doing his rounds.
He was under his shirt. He's like, "Oh, see you guys later."
So does that mean was it taken before? Was it taken after? Or did these motion sensors just malfunction?
Or did they know where the motion sensor was? Well, I guess if it's against the wall too, so they can't get close to the painting without it tripping.
Right. There were tests that were done prior to this and after the robbery. Apparently the sensors all worked fine. However, the guards, other guards were just saying like they malfunction all the time.
Okay.
So they could have maybe malfunction. But days before the robbery, Rick was planning on quitting because of interfering with his band.
What year was this? 1990?
Yeah.
It's like a Nirvana type
He's
band.
he's like a big Deadhead, like Grateful Dead guy.
Dead. Yeah. Like a jam band.
Yes. I can't stand that music. I can't
It's so confusing.
It. Like 30-minute song.
Yeah, I that's not for me. I understand people like it, and I support you in liking whatever music you like. But come on.
Yeah.
It's so boring. No, I think I don't understand it.
He'd also frequently say, and he even admitted this, how bad the security was at the museum. So did he or maybe some other guard or museum worker happen to say something similar or say that to someone or maybe around someone they shouldn't have said it to or like heard it? Like some, unsavory person might have heard one of these workers say that and like, oh, we got to go get this museum, go rob it. Or was Rick part of this whole thing?
Had to be. Get his jam band out there. They had to sell some cassette tapes.
So the museum had hired a new art director 6 months before this happened. And Holly, she's the first female director, which is nice. But
and this happens. Is they trying to pin it on her?
No.
Okay.
But she, since the museum was low on funds, she had to make the difficult choice of whether or not improving their security, like the security system, or getting like a moisture control.
Yeah.
Like protect the art.
Yeah, climate control.
Climate control. Yeah. So she went with the climate control system.
Humidity system, like humidity control system. Yeah.
To preserve the art. I mean, I don't blame her for doing that. She's in charge of the art.
Well, no, because that's a pretty bad. It can happen. Yeah. That's a pretty serious thing.
Yeah. So she chose a climate control system.
And she chose wrong.
Yeah.
You don't really need it anymore if there's no art.
And this isn't known to the public until 2015. But the night before the robbery, so it was March 17th around 12:40 a.m., A car is seen pulling up on the security cameras outside. Again, like we were saying, the footage is just terrible. One person gets out. Again, there's protocol not to let anyone in. Rick's working, of course. He buzzes this person in through both doors. Security footage from inside the security station doesn't apparently show who this man was. You can't see his face. And for the longest time, the FBI was just like, well, who's this guy? Who's Rick letting in this random dude? But once it was released to the public in 2015, someone's like, oh, that's our head of security.
Okay.
Or he's like a deputy of security or something like that.
Okay.
Deputy head of security.
So it was someone who could have been there or should have been there.
Should have been there, yeah.
Or like had the right to be.
Yeah. January 1st at midnight of that same year, Rick was working, a lot of people in the party there. He was highly stoned.
Wait, he let people to party in there?
Yeah.
Man.
They're like, it's kind of like, how this guy still have a job? But whatever.
I mean, they have like scouts, like camps in the museums and stuff around here in like different things. Like the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts will go do that. Yeah. Like they'll sleep over, spend the night at the museum. And I don't know if people are like just wander around.
Spend the night in the museum?
Yeah. And they also have like weddings there and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That type of stuff. But like, I don't know, spending the night in the museum.
Especially like, kids like
just running,
run their dirty hands on stuff.
Terrible. Yeah.
Breaking stuff.
Yes.
So initially, the museum offered a $1 million reward. Then 1987 went up to $5 million. And then I don't know when up, but it's now at $10 million. It's just for information leading to the recovery, like the safe return of all the works of art. It's a lot of money, man.
Yeah, the hell you say.
So during the investigation, like everyone involved was like, why do they chose those particular works of art? They left the most valuable painting in the whole museum, Titian.
Yes.
Crap.
Titian's
The Rape of Europa, which is on the 3rd floor. They never went up there. But that's the most valuable piece of art in the museum. Why did they take that? Do these thieves even know anything about art in the first place? Because they're taking some really good stuff. But
they're cutting it out of the frames.
Yeah. And other stuff, they're just like, why would they take that? It's not really worth that much.
Throw them off the trail.
Right. Yeah, maybe. Is it because they're grabbing multiple pieces of art and probably only have one successful trip in and out? The weight and like cumbersome of some of this stuff probably, plays a factor in what they're taking.
How are you going to move that much? Like, how are you going to hide all that?
Well, right. Yeah. Are they doing this at the behest of someone else? Are they only there to get those specific things? Maybe. Or they got what they wanted or told to get and just decided to grab whatever else they could on top of that. They're like, oh, we're still here. Let's keep grabbing other crap.
Yeah. They had one specific thing you had to go in for or two.
And there's like, oh, this eagle looks cool.
Yeah.
This beaker looks cool.
If I was in a museum, I'd take one of the big dinosaur bones. Like the T-Rex head.
Yeah.
I'd have like sitting right. It would be right here. Like it'd be so big. It'd be taking up the entire room.
Like, I don't know what you're talking about, officer. He's just in the background. So like people are like, are they just doing this? Is this a mob thing? Or are they doing this from like some shady, uber rich person who's like wants a private art and wants like a private art collector kind of thing? You know?
Are you going into the
No, this is just like what people are thinking. Like, well, there's some oddities to like what they're taking and why they're like omitting stuff. Like, I don't know.
What I'm thinking is, if you steal art, something so important,
you're gonna want to show it off.
How are you going to sell that?
Well, that's another thing. It's too hot.
Yeah, and how are you gonna who's gonna buy that? They'd be like, oh, you stole that? Like, oh my god. Because then what's the point of having it if you don't show it off?
I mean, maybe like, again, like they said, there might be seedy people like,
But like, how are they going to, what's the point of having that?
They'd be like, hey, I'll swap you this painting if you give me like an elephant or something weird, like a rhino.
But they can never sell, they can never make money off it.
They'll just trade.
Oh, because
who
wants something that hot?
Exactly. You can't sell it.
I guess there's a dark I don't understood about the like underground market for that type of stuff for art and everything, because like, what's the point? You can't show it off because it's some secret thing. What are you gonna do? Like, hey guys, come in here, and then someone's gonna tell on you.
Yeah,
you can't show people.
Right. Like even if it was someone who's just like wants it, obviously did this illegal thing, wants it for themselves.
Why would they want it for themselves if they can't show it off?
Exactly. Or someone in their house would see this. Even if they had like a special room, like someone's going to see that, like a housekeeper or something like that.
Let's say you're some uber rich, like underground type of guy, right? and you're having parties at your house,
Mhm.
someone's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna turn this guy in for $1 million reward."
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, maybe there's something I'm missing.
Well, so apparently
Johnny Law's gonna come and knocking, but I don't
apparently
know.
this happened. I think it happened back in 1980s in Boston with another piece of art that got stolen from a different museum. Someone stole something and used it as a bargaining chip to reduce the sentence of like their mob boss or like themselves. I can't remember what it was, like either for their it was a mob related thing, but the guy stole it, was able to use it as a bargain chip to reduce his own sentence, or like I think his bosses or something like that. Like, hey, I'll give you this back.
Like a terrible idea.
It worked. Apparently it worked.
But why wouldn't they just be like, yeah, sure, here, and then just like give him a worse sentence?
So this gets out. So people like maybe we start doing this as like leverage.
That's such a dumb move.
It worked.
I can't believe anybody fell for it. That's their fault. It's completely society's fault then.
So these are all things that like the FBI and like investigators are like are thinking, like, stuff like that.
Why would you go, oh, thank you, and then just put the cuffs on and be like, you're going back in?
Yeah.
Stupid.
The FBI immediately takes over the case because the stolen art could possibly crossing state lines. Fingerprints and footprints were found at the scene, but nothing conclusive. The duct tape that was used on the guards was lost at some point. No fingerprints could have been taken from that. It was lost. I don't know what time it was, like what year it was lost, but they lost that.
I mean, it had to be so many fingerprints of the guy being like, get this off
Sure,
of me,
yeah.
like, well, I guess
but then he'd be
his
like,
hands were tied up. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like you'd be able to identify the guards' fingerprints because you have them. You have that person. Like,
unless it was him, and then
the two guards, as well as two witnesses who observed the police officers, quotes, they all kind of agree upon the heights. One of the thieves was 5'9" to 5'10" in his late 30s with a medium build. The other was 6 feet to 6 feet. The other was 6 feet to 6 feet 1 inches. Early 30s with a heavier build. He had a mustache that Rick Abath believed was fake. Rick Abath. I keep calling it Abath. It's Rick Abath.
He's like, it was hanging off. So like, something
I can
tricky
see the glue,
about that guy. Yeah.
Obviously, Rick is considered a suspect because like of kind of his unusual behavior. But this whole time, he's never charged with anything. He passed away in 2024 this year. This whole time, he's like, hey, I'm innocent. I'm just like, and the FBI never charged him with anything.
I mean, he wasn't living in a mansion, was he?
Right.
So,
No, I think they just thought he was just like too. One of the things I saw was like these security guards are too inept to pull something like this off. So that's all 1990. 1994, Ann Hawley, again, who's the art director at the time, she receives an anonymous letter. In the letter, this person states that they don't know who the thieves are, but they are a third-party negotiator for them. They requested $2.6 million to be sent to an offshore bank account for the stolen art. And all the art would be returned, and all those involved would have immunity. They also say the art was originally stolen to reduce a prison sentence for someone. But since that time, since it's 4 years later, the sentence was, I guess that sentence was already like either the person died or like their sentence was up. So like, but we still have the art.
okay. So this is
This is 1984, 4 years after.
But why wouldn't that person just be like, put this money in my account and then be like, see ya, and then like take off without giving the money?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
They request that Anne place a note in the Boston Globe, which would mean that the museum is complying, like it's kind of coded message, which they did. A second letter, like to say, if you put this note in the newspaper, that means like you're up for this, like you're going to do this.
As in
Just
did
like,
they receive something like this?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
The note basically by him, I don't know what the note was. It's like some kind of like weird coded thing, but like you put this in the newspaper, that means you're on board and you're like, we're doing this negotiation. So they do that. The FBI gets involved. Like she calls the FBI, like, yeah, do it. A second letter was later sent the following week to Anne stating that the negotiations were off because they were worried that the FBI investigation would reveal their identity. And Anne never got another letter. There's one hot lead that died. In August 1997, the Boston Herald reported that one of its journalists, Tom Mashberg, had seen the storm of this on the Sea of Galilee. Mashberg was taken by a source to a warehouse where he saw what appeared to be the stolen Rembrandt painting. This leads to tense negotiations between William Youngworth, an antique dealer with criminal connections, who claimed to have arranged the viewing, the FBI, and the U.S. Attorney's Office. Authorities demanded more proof from Youngsworth, who provided microscopic chips allegedly from this painting. However, tests by the museum and the FBI revealed they were the chips. While the chips are from that era, they're not from the Rembrandt painting, that specific one.
But this guy put himself out there for this.
I don't know, man. That was a whole separate thing. I was like, it's a whole nother rabbit hole. God. From November 1997 to January 1989, this whole thing happens. It starts with an FBI investigator telling Hawley that the FBI had come up with good information on who was responsible for the theft. The information appears to point to the involvement of 3 young men who had been operating for several years out of a Dorchester auto body shop. Dorchester's, I guess, part of Boston. The FBI soon learns that a major armored car heist is being planned by a Carmelo Merlino, the owner of the auto body shop, and for the next year, through an undercover informant at the shop, it tracks the plot as well as the banter between the owner and several visitors about this hope of recovering the stolen Gardner pieces and gaining the then $5 million reward.
$5 million
At the time.
What year was that?
This is 1997. So now it's at $10 million, but at the time they're like, hey, we're going to get this. It makes it seem like they know where the art is. They're going to get it or they have it to turn it in for a $5 million reward at this body shop that's being owned. I think it's owned by this gangster guy, Carmelo. The FBI arrests Merlino and 3 others in the armed car plot, including a David Turner and Stephen Rossetti, who have ties to the major Boston crime gang, and their names have been long linked to the Gardner theft. FBI agents tell all 4 they can negotiate their release from jail and dropping of all charges if they facilitate the return of the Gardner paintings. But all 4 men deny any knowledge. And they get to, finish out their long prison sentence. In 2010, a federal grand jury heard testimony from Aline Guarente, their late husband, Robert Guarente, a known Boston crime figure, gave him 2 or more of the paintings from the heist to his friend Robert Gentile. He's Gentile. After a lunch in a Portland, Maine restaurant. Guarente was sick and gave Gentile paintings for safekeeping. Gentile initially agrees to assist the FBI by taking a polygraph test. This test indicates that he lied about having any knowledge of the whereabouts of the stolen art.
Polygraph tests are completely bullcrap.
Yeah. He's allowed to take the test again. He says that Aline once showed him the missing Rembrandt self-portrait, which the polygraph machine indicated he was telling the truth. So in May of 2012, the FBI conducted a thorough search of Gentile's home and backyard for clues about the stolen artwork. They find a newspaper article on the theft and a list of black market values for the stolen places in his basement. Okay, that's kind of odd that this guy has his list of all this stuff.
Yeah.
But,
What year was that?
This is 2012.
Yeah, you probably print that off Wikipedia there.
In his backyard shed, they discovered a false floor.
Nice.
Covering an empty, deep ditch. So we found this false floor. They're using all this technology and stuff. Oh, shit, we found something. And nothing's in there. I think they found a gun or something like that. Gentile's son claimed that his father used the ditch to store secret belongings in plastic containers, which were destroyed by a flood years earlier. And his father was very upset by whatever was stored in there.
Oh, man, could you imagine if this stuff was destroyed by a flood? A heavy rain just wiped this crap out?
Yeah, but it's the thing. If no one who has this art is storing it properly, it's probably ruined at this point. Just from moisture, humidity.
Yeah. Of course, if it's still rolled up, it's destroyed.
Yeah. So, did this guy, Gentile, have the art and was it in his shed and get flooded and it's ruined? He's just throw it out, I guess.
Could you imagine just jamming it? Some guys jamming a Rembrandt into a garbage can and then the sanitation worker comes up, he's like, the hell? All right, dump it in, Fred.
Yeah. Chop it up.
Or it's underneath, he's using it under his rug or something. It's kids playing on it.
A placemat.
Yeah.
a play mat. Despite being offered leniency on drug charges, Gentile denied involvement and was sentenced to prison. And on March 18, 2013, on the 23rd year anniversary of the theft, Richard de Lawyers, how would you say that? Richard Lawyer?
They Lawlers?
They Lawers? Let's call him Rich. Rich is the head of the FBI's Boston office. Him, along with U.S. Attorney Carmen Ortiz, provided a progress report on the investigation. Although he provides no new details and no names, Richard says that the FBI has entered the final chapter of the probe, having determined a criminal organization with a base in New England and the Mid-Atlantic states was involved. I don't think that's really that surprising. Although the whereabouts of the stolen pieces were known, Richard said the investigation concluded they were last in Connecticut. An effort had been made to fence them, sell them off in Philadelphia in 2002. After that, they don't know what happened to the works of art.
But still, who the hell wants this crap? I mean, I know it's worth a lot of money, but you can't sell it. It's not worth it. Like, it's not worth that.
But it keeps coming up that, like, people possibly using this to, like, barter.
Yeah, I understand that. Like, that makes sense. But, like, eventually someone's one that gets paid.
Yeah.
Like, I guess if you're like, hey, you owe me $5 million, I'm going to give you this Rembrandt. Okay, that's worth $5 million. Great. But, like, that guy, the person probably doesn't need the actual $5 million. He just wants, like, paid. He just, like, wants the debt forgiven or whatever. So, I don't know.
But, like, these people also be doing just to say they did it. Like, oh, yeah, I got that painting.
But if you can't get them cash out of it, I guess.
If someone paid these guys to go and steal it, they probably have the money. They don't need the money to, like, sell it back. They just wanted it for themselves. But I don't, that's, you know, it's like a weird spectrum of, like, why these were in there, who they were. They work for somebody, and, like, what if they work for somebody, what was that used for? Like, what was the pain?
I think it's a weird spectrum of someone who wants
the art,
but is also, like, a drug crime boss.
Yeah. Like, it could be, like, any, like, little, like, thing in there. Like,
what's a drug crime boss need a painting for? Like, a famous painting. Like, is he, like, also studying art in his free time?
They might have hobbies.
That's what I mean. Like, it's like a weird,
or just to say, he could be one of those things on the spectrum. He's like, I just did it so I could do it.
Right. Like, that's what I'm wondering.
Like, to, like, police or, you know, high society people. Like,
then you'd want to burn it, but you want people to know you did that.
Maybe not, though. I don't know. Depends on how big of an ego you got.
Man, that's a world I just don't understand. Thankfully.
So during this press conference, Ortiz repeats the pledge that no one who facilitates on their own the return of the paintings will be prosecuted by their office and will also be eligible for that then, at the time, $5 million reward. Like, again, it's $10 million now.
They're just trying to beg anybody, just please bring it back to us. We don't care who did it.
Yeah. I think apparently, like, the statute of limitations, like, even if you
did
it, like, you can't be arrested.
Guy wanders in with, like, wearing as a cape. He's like, yeah, check this out. I did it. What are you going to do? He's like, drives this, like, Lamborghini in, like, yeah.
He smashes the, like, the.
Oh, I guess if you did hang on to I guess if you did hang on to it until that ran out, they were like, yeah, I did it. Here, I'm selling it. I guess you just have to hang on till the statute runs out. I don't know if there's, like, a clause in it or something.
Yeah, I don't know what the time frame is, but they're saying at this point, like, I think it seems like it's already up, but that's only 15 years later, which seems not that long.
But I guess maybe they can get them on some kind of other technicality.
I would hope so.
Like, we're not going to get you for this. We're going to get you for this.
Yeah.
Like, felony theft is never going to run out.
Right. That's a felony.
I don't know.
That amount of worth.
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer for some reason.
So 2 years later, the FBI then gives the names of the two thieves. So they're like, 2013, like, we know who the thieves are. They give the names of the two thieves.
Is it Rick and Randy?
One is George Reisfelder. And the other is Lenny DiMuzio.
But that doesn't mean they know the purpose.
Right. They're just like,
these are the
identity of the thieves who took it.
These are probably the lowest rung guys.
Yeah. And these guys, like, again, they're part of this crime family. They're part of, like, you know, Boston's, you know, mob or mafia. And these guys, I saw the pictures of these guys, they match, I mean, the drawings of the eyewitness accounts of the two guys, that police officers that robbed the place, is kind of like, it could be anybody, but these guys look like, they do kind of like these guys. But again,
typical Boston guys.
It could be anybody, really, anyone with a mustache. But these two men belong to the crew of Carmelo Merlino, this guy who
says he
was part of the that that armored cars thing,
Okay.
that other thing.
That group.
They were part of that crew, but they both died a year within the heist. Reisfelder died from a drug overdose. DiMuzio was murdered, possibly by Merlino, because Merlino found out that DiMuzio was the leader of a planned coup against Merlino. So he got him killed. In 2022, we're wrapping up with this. A new lead that was prompted by Tip has refocused efforts on tracing the artwork. The Tip told investigators to re-examine the murder of Jimmy Marks from 1991. It was unsolved. This person saying, like, re-look at this guy's murder. Or she was saying this. Marks had reportedly bragged about possessing some of the stolen artwork. He was also known associate of Robert Guarente. This is the guy that apparently had pieces of work, the artwork, who gave it to Gentile because he was sick. This was associate, probably mob guy of Guarente. Pronouncing that right. His murder done in a mob style way, who shot twice in the head. I believe this guy was twice in the head. Maybe linked to his involvement of the heist. Celine Guarente, again, this is the wife of this guy, said that Jimmy was frequently at their house and claimed that her husband had Jimmy killed. And on that night of Jimmy's death, Guarente was sighted in the area. Unfortunately, all these people I mentioned, there's like tons of other people that are thrown out there. Stuff like the IRA, all these other guys that are part of like the Boston crime scene. All these suspects are dead. All of them dead. It's like, well,
It's already over.
yeah, right.
Yeah. So
unless someone in the family's
no
like,
answer.
yeah, unless someone's just like, hey, I was digging back here in the yard, and
But they also haven't found the
this.
paintings.
No,
No one's found anything. Plus, these guys are all dead.
Yeah.
Whoever may know where they're at is dead.
right. Apparently,
They're just like hidden in someone's basement.
yeah. Apparently, this day that like the museum and the police and the FBI in Boston are always getting tips about this stuff. Usually, they're just like, it's ridiculous, but
Yeah, I don't know about this one, Jordan. You weren't going to some. Did you have some?
I definitely
theories?
think it's mob related for sure.
So you went through the common theories.
That's just like that's what their investigation. That's
Okay.
like kind of like what the FBI believes. And again, like I said, there's other ones, but
So
there's a lot of other people. Like Whitey Bulger was apparently like questioned
What?
in regards to this. He's like, I don't know anything about art. I don't care.
Okay.
Some along those lines, but
So wait, so before we get into our theories, I was reading about this like not too long ago. This happened. There was this event, April 4th, 2024. Okay. There was this huge robbery. Here's the headline: tens of millions stolen from money storage facility in one of the largest cash heists in Southern California.
money storage facility.
Yeah, so like
What is
the
that?
Guardia like trucks, the armored trucks drive around and
Yeah,
pick
yeah.
up money. So they
Then
take
they're taking the banks.
well, no, they take it from banks and put it in like storage facilities from like so it's like a storage facility, maximum security storage
Right.
facility. So they
I thought they just took it from like a place to the bank.
well the bank. I mean the banks can't. Banks aren't going to store some cash like that. Like
Yeah, I guess not.
they kind of. I mean nowadays it's all
Apparently, I know nothing
electronic.
of this.
So anyway, you didn't hear about this?
Mm-mm.
It's apparently like the burglars go in, steal money, middle of the night, I guess. $30 million was taken. And like no one has any idea what's going on. Like the Guardia, which is like the huge trucks that drive around, like the
Yeah.
like this is supposed to be like their entire purpose is to protect money.
Yeah. You think they would have like the ink things in there like some banks do?
I
They
think they have to
explode.
have something.
Something in those, right?
Maybe they didn't put them in yet.
Mm.
Like this was like a huge deal. And it's like if you look at like the pictures and stuff, it's just like one little part of the building and like the basement area, like window, there's like a piece of wood over it now because like that's where they went in. But look, that's a crazy
How'd they
story.
get in there? A place that serves that much money. How would they have gotten in there?
Yeah.
Like you said, this is like this company's whole purpose: protect people's money, business's money.
Yeah, I guess there's another one from a Brinks tractor trailer while the driver was inside asleep. Another guy was gone for like 30 minutes, I guess, getting food at a rest stop. And the thieves took 22 bags worth less than $10 million, while others believe it was roughly $100 million of gems and all kinds of stuff.
Oh my God.
The guys were just asleep. Apparently everybody's like, hey man, maybe this stuff isn't as
secure as we thought.
Yeah.
Reliable.
So this just happened, and like obviously these companies probably have like the best security you could probably get, I guess, for burglaries, and storage facility with tons of money in it, robbed. So apparently it happens a lot. Or it's people are always looking.
Yeah. That's all. Someone's always trying to do something like that.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so what do you think was going on?
I think it'd be cool if it was just some like uber rich guy, just like has his own private collection. He goes in his like secret room and just looks at this stuff. Not cool, but like it's terrible. Like the stuff's stolen. Apparently at the museum, it's like nothing can be modified. There's just empty frames of where like these pieces of art are supposed to be.
It is, or you think
it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it would be remakes.
Yeah, they're just empty frames there.
Okay.
Because again, they can't alter anything, otherwise everything gets shipped out to Paris and auctioned off.
Oh, little clause in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so I don't think it's cool, but like I think the most interesting would be, maybe not most interesting. I don't know how to put this, but like, I don't think it's actually some like uber rich guy who just like has like a secret room in his house and he just goes in there and like deals himself to these paintings or something like that. But I do think it's probably mob related for sure. It's like it's happened before in this area.
Art is just a weird thing.
Yeah.
To like be used as currency.
Right.
Because whenever there's a war or something, what do people want to steal? Like what is it going to be? What's going to be more beneficial? You'd have a painting or water.
Yeah.
That type of thing. Like it's always weird for, I guess, in a current world, like paintings are worth a lot of money. People have money to spend on paintings, but like, it's just so crazy that that's the thing they're using. Because
I don't know, but some people during wars they go and like destroy art.
Yeah, to wipe like I guess that's a big ancient thing too. Yeah. Ancient war, they did that to wipe the people off from history. But like this type of thing, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Especially because like,
again, like we said, there's that spectrum of like, if whoever has this, like, why do they have it?
Right.
What are they doing with it? Like, are they doing it just because like they could? They do it because they show off to other people. But like, if you do that, like, it's going to get known that you have this stuff.
That's what my whole point was. I do not understand why people would do this. It can't be someone that wants to show it off. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's not someone wants to had some some guys to go in and do this.
Right.
Because they want to show it off, like some rich guy. They had to do it as like a currency type of exchange, where like they're going to use this as a currency for other things.
Yeah, right.
Like some guy owed the mob $30 million. Like, I'm going to go steal a bunch of paintings and give it to them.
But also, like why some of the stuff they took.
There's no return on this investment.
Yeah. Like some of the things they took were just like, why'd they take that? Or why they not take, the most expensive thing in the museum? Why did they take that one?
Yeah, why did they take the lesser known stuff?
Yeah. Either they didn't know what they're doing, or like they were told specifically to get those things, or they got what they're supposed to get and just like, let's grab whatever else we can.
Right. Like kind of like they got the main thing that the guy wanted. They wanted that one Rembrandt, and then the rest of them they were like, oh, this is just us for us,
Why they cut out some of the stuff? Because it seems like they were comfortable enough like to be there for 81 minutes. So why they cut some of the stuff out?
Well, they were too dumb to know, like, to care.
Yeah.
They're just too stupid to understand what they were doing.
But they also like took the time to take some of the other stuff off the walls though, like carefully. I don't know. It's very I was like, oh, this should be pretty cut and dry.
So there was no
like,
cameras in this place at all, or they took the tapes.
They took the tapes, yeah.
So there were cameras. They just took the tapes.
Yes,
they were smart. So they knew where the tapes were.
I think
they knew to take the feed out.
Yeah, I think I could be wrong. I think the only cameras in the museum are right outside and in the security room. I don't know why I think that, but that might be the case. Either way, there are cameras in the museum. I figured there would be, but they took the VHS tape, so like no record of them being there other than
those are VHS tape. What are they gonna see?
Yeah, it can see anything. Yeah.
I think
quality.
I think the problem we have is not knowing a reason. That's why it takes it
Right.
impossible to like solve it.
Yeah.
But
I got more questions from looking this stuff up than I would have than I did before. Like in regards to like the art, why they took that certain art. Why would someone want it? Who would want it? What they do with it?
it's one of those things where like the more people know, the more you're screwed.
Yeah.
You know, if too many people know what you did, you're gonna screw yourself. But
Yeah.
it reminds me of like the DB Cooper like
Mhm.
thing where like guys come in, the guy came in, he just came in, disappeared. And like it had to be someone that like I think here's what I think. I'm gonna bring you along with this. Just follow me. This guy, one of these guys, Rick or Randy, he got paid like $1,000. He's gonna quit. Who does he care?
Yeah, he's gonna
Someone's gonna
his
like, hey,
band going.
Randy, Ricky, whatever his name was, one of them. I'm gonna give you $1,000. You're gonna tell me exactly what goes on in the security room, and that's all you need to know. And then walk away. You didn't see anything. You didn't hear anything. Here's $1,000. We know where you live. We're gonna kill you if you do anything, or tell anybody who you are or who we are.
Or like I said, they like any one of these people that work there could have been out at a bar, maybe drank too much, and someone overheard, or they just told the wrong person about like the lack of security and like.
I mean, it wasn't a lot. Like they had to know like about the sensors. They had to know about the printout, where the tapes were. They had to know how to get in.
Right.
They had like there's too many like coincidences on them actually getting in the building, of like, hey, if we go in and we say this, they have to let us in. If we say this, they'll get from behind the thing because the only alarm button is right there. So they had to pay someone, or someone had to say something. It could have been. It didn't have to be these two guys. It could have been anybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could have been like anyone that works there.
Right. It could have been
like the guards, but it could be anyone who has a job at this museum.
And I bet
or has ever even worked for the museum.
And I bet the FBI looked into all this stuff. And I'm sure, but it, like someone just said, "Here's $1,000. Keep your mouth shut. Just tell us exactly what happens, and then pretend you never saw us." That's all you have to do, and that's totally legitimate thing. And then the rest was history. Like the rest just fell into place.
Like a lot of these people that like I didn't even name all of them. A lot of people, these people are suspects. Like they got murdered.
Yeah.
Within like I think one guy was like a week later he was murdered. Like I don't think I talked about him, but like it was like it's kind of all like, is that a coincidence? Did he murder for some other reason, or is it that person like these guys murdered because they had this stuff? They were bragging about having this stuff, and like they got murdered to shut them up. So many people.
A lot of coincidences in this here story.
Yeah.
A lot of weird things too, like details that are like, if you just had the answer to this one question, you probably could solve this pretty easily.
Yeah.
But also, all the guys are probably dead.
Yeah,
all the people involved are probably dead now. It's now too long.
Right.
They didn't solve it the first couple of years. It wasn't.
Yeah, your only hope is that like they talk to somebody like a relative or a friend who's like still alive, and they're like, yeah.
And
come forward.
And
why haven't they come forward? Though?
In that they actually have the stuff.
Right.
So it was either destroyed or sent on a bridge or a bridge. It was sent on a barge to like, here's $1,000. I'll pay you $1,000. Give me that Rembrandt, and it's going to be going to Europe.
Yeah.
And now it's somewhere in Europe or something. Like, you can't sell it. Like,
you're right.
Straight up. You're never going to be able to sell it. You're never going to be able to really do anything with it. It's almost like a curse. I have this thing that's
like
worth.
You get this, and you're like, well.
I have this thing.
I gotta worry about this now.
I have this thing worth $100 million.
Yeah.
Right. And it's illegal for me to have it. It's illegal for me to do anything with it.
Right. It's like when someone gives you a gift, but you have to like, I don't know,
display it when they come over.
Or like, oh, I need batteries.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's like a burden.
And someone gives you a check, and you're like, I gotta go. Yeah. Thanks. It's a ride.
This is like.
I gotta find time to go to the bank when it's open.
Yeah. I gotta worry about this now.
I think. It's again. What I was saying was, it's a curse because if you have it, you're not going to get the value out of it.
Right. Yeah. Unless your value is just to be able to like sit there and look at it. But again, like if you have it, someone else are seeing.
You can use it to trade.
Seeing it too, though.
But as soon as you trade, like you're just giving yourself up. You have to, and then you got to be involved in the dark underbelly of the world. You have to be involved in the crime world to actually be able to move the thing.
Right.
Because
Black market.
You have to be involved with that. And what are you going to do? You're probably going to get killed along the way.
Yeah. I'd say people who are listening or watching, check out the documentary called "This Is a Robbery: The World's Biggest Art Heist." And there's links for other stuff I use, but all these links and the documentary go into all these other people who are involved. And it's even like more of a rabbit hole. There's some cool things I didn't mention because it's long enough already.
Yeah, there's a lot of times we go into a lot of rabbit holes that we don't go into the rabbit holes. Like when we go, I was recently listening to a thing about the Zodiac Killer again, and there's like all this stuff that we didn't talk about.
Oh my god, yeah, especially the Zodiac, dude. There's so many,
many other letters and stuff are written to be like we didn't have time.
Yeah,
like our show isn't about a deep dives type of thing. It's about surface level stuff in some cases because we want to be variety.
Yeah,
and so that's when we get into like maybe we'll do some revisits later.
I like to do a Jack the Ripper too.
Yeah, like go back and do some revisits on certain things like later in time. But as of right now, we still don't got any answers for anything. And especially for a heist, we didn't even know what a heist meant. So it's just like it's like a highfalutin society type.
Do you think a heist deals with people not
getting murdered?
Maybe? Or
robberies don't get it. It's like robberies like petty crime.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rob a gas station or I'm gonna rob a museum. No, I'm gonna heist a museum.
This sounds cooler.
Yeah. You commit robberies, I commit heists.
We're not the same person.
Yeah. Go beat up a clerk and steal his.
Go steal a candy bar from a gas station.
What a nerd. Anyway.
I'm going to heist the gas station.
Robberies are for robbery nerds or crime nerds. Anyway, thank you everybody out there for being here. Jordan, thank you for that story.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you everybody out there. If you want to know more about the story from tonight, please go check out the documentary.
Story from tonight.
Yeah. And if you would like to see us, if you're listening and you want to see us, we do have a YouTube channel. Please check out the link in the show notes. If you want to hear us because you're watching us, then go check out our any podcast platform. We're on all of them, pretty much. And if you want to connect with us, please reach out in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. They're all in the links below. If you would like to help us out with any type of stories, ideas, please email us at mysteriouspailsonline@gmail.com. It's in the show notes below, or you can just go to mysteriospals.com because that'll take you to all the links for everything. Did I miss anything?
I think that's good. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, probably. Yeah, okay.
Mysteriospals.com. Yep.
Check out the website. It takes care of all that stuff, or just look in the links below, and we would happily have you aboard to tell us stuff that we did wrong or right. Please leave any comments because we like comments. Subscribe, all that crap too. Helps us out. And we love you. Thank you for being here. Jordan, thank you again.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Stay tuned. Same mysterious place, same mysterious time, same mysterious tale about something different.
Stay mysterious.
Good night, everybody.